Morning folks, it's a Monday, 10 to 10, and this is not how I'd normally start the video. And I've said this before, but today we are fighting a wildfire that's broken out in our hometown and in and around the area. So yesterday I didn't film at all. I was away for the majority of the day. When I came back, I returned to the yard, everyone was like, "Hi Ben, hi Ben, hi Ben." I'm like, what's happened? The guys put diesel in a petrol lawnmower, and also the bed on one of the projects that we were doing was half the size it should have been. I didn't have a go at them. I didn't say, "Why have you done that?" Or I took accountability for what I didn't do. I guess what I'm trying to get across is the whole point of if you employ staff, you need to be accountable for yourself. You know, instead of just blame. What is it that I have done or haven't done that has either allowed you or not allowed you to do the job that you've been asked to do?
Dab, can I ask you to do something for me? Just big fast positions like this. 3, 2, 1, go.
We got spirit, yes we do. How about you?
Morning folks, it's a Monday, 10 to 10, and this is not how I'd normally start the video. And I've said this before, but today we are fighting a wildfire that's broken out in our hometown and in and around the area. So we're just waiting for some more bodies to come and join so we can all go out together. It's maybe a kilometre of a walk out into the hill. We've managed to get one of our fixed leaf blowers, picked that up, and then one of the backpack blowers, and Joe's got the small one, and hopefully that'll make a bit of a difference. More than they had before, they were just using beaters. But it's a first for me. I've never ever fought a wildfire or did heather burning or anything like that. So yeah, just kind of felt like we should be doing our part. So when I got the phone call this morning to see if we could spare any bodies, I pulled Joe and Mo off the job. They're here absolutely voluntary. You know, I asked them, "Do you want to go?" And they said, yeah, the more bodies we can get, the better. But it's everywhere. It's going way over the hill into the other state, towards Nairn, towards Aberlour, and now this one's heading towards Carbridge, and they just get up and out of nowhere. Mo was telling me before I arrived, they were just coming along the road and a fire just erupted out of nowhere. They ended up helping these other gamekeepers blow it out. Just crazy, yeah. I've never seen something like this. It's just a shame for obviously all the trees and everything, yes, but the wildlife as well, the ground nesting birds that, you know, just crazy, isn't it? Morning. What have we learned today, Ed?
Don't come to a cross with every
We're out though, we're out. How are you enjoying your time here so far?
I'm really enjoying it, man.
Yeah? Good lad.
Yeah.
What's your favourite job?
Not swimming.
Not swimming. What are you doing today?
Want to push more, and then I'm swimming.
I'm roasting after that. Ed wasn't aware of a wet patch up at the very top of the distillery there and managed to get the moor bogged. I don't know why we stream that area, it's always just been kept, but I don't think anyone really ever goes up there. Anyway, we managed to get it out through brute strength. I came out to drop a strimmer off to the guys, one of the big ones, because the head of one of the small ones has broke and we don't have any spare ones. So another lesson learnt, get some more heads in stock. We did have a heap of spare ones, but over time they've been used up and it's a wear and tear part, so they do a lot of strimming week in, week out. So came out to the rescue with that and then thought I had the pickup, forgot I took the van out. Went to go and get the pickup to tow the moor out, but only had the van, so we ended up just pulling it. Me and Ed pulled it from the front and Dav was slowly crawling out. 4 of the guys are here today, cracking on with the distillery and the distillery houses, as well as the communal areas over there that we've done for a number of years now. So this is a really good round that we do. It's all in the same place. Route density, it's lucrative. Literally just garden to garden, and yeah, it's one of our good contracts. Also, how prestige the grounds are, yeah, it's a really good one for our portfolio, for our branding, for advertising. Went out to the fire situation this morning. We had a good bit of rainfall last night, which has helped significantly. Most of the fires are out. However, there's obviously still fires that are smouldering. The peat will be still on fire, so we're not out of the dark yet, but it's significantly better, and there wasn't much for us to do this morning, so we just left the helicopter to it. A collective effort from everyone, to all the gamekeepers, land managers, farmers, everyone who was involved, of course the fire brigade, but the thing is that I don't mind highlighting is the fact that you need to be able to get out into the moor and tackle the fires. The fire brigade can't really do that, they don't have the vehicles or the access, so without the gamekeepers and everyone else it would have been a lot worse. And of course Mother Nature, the rain, came to the rescue. So Kyle and Joe are out on another route that we were doing. Everyone's out grass cutting today. One thing that we aren't really equipped for is everyone being out grass cutting, just in terms of capacity, strimmers and stuff like that, but we managed. It's not going to be very often that everyone's out strimming and mowing. Just on this occasion we wanted to try and get through the route. So I'm going to head back to the yard now.
We're heading out to Nethy Bridge. We are putting in posts for a new fence that's going up. Yesterday we dug the holes, so we got a bit delayed with our timings and everything, so we're putting in the posts and then they'll be set ready for the rails and the rest of the fence to go up tomorrow.
Morning folks, welcome to hell. Oh wait, it's not actually hell. What are we doing today? I'm getting a phone call. Oh no, it's this one. Hello? I got 2 phones now because I'm a... No, I just thought to myself, and this is what I'd recommend to anyone who's starting out. If you are meaning to go somewhere with this and be busy with it, what am I trying to say? I've not had a coffee yet. Simply because that was my number. That is no longer my number. That is, don't show them that. Come on, GDPR.
What?
That was my number. That is now the work number. And because it's been my work number and my personal number for however long, now the transition period of trying to get that away from my personal life, you know, so family and friends who phone me on that number. If you're starting a business and you want to grow a business, I highly recommend you get a work phone. Might be a hassle, but what it means is you are separate from your work when you need to be. And if ever gets to a point where you grow the business to where you come out of the business, the work has a phone and it's not yours. I'm slowly transitioning away from that phone and trying to get people to, you know, friends and family to phone me on my new phone. But yeah, that's a lesson learned and it's something that I wish I did. But when you're starting out, you don't really know what's happening, you don't really know where you're going with it, and it's just something that I'm sure a lot of us have done, but definitely recommend getting a second phone just to completely separate the work. And then if you ever need to pass the phone, if you're going away, you can pass the work phone to a colleague. So this is some windows that I actually picked up for a customer last week. They're getting a glass balustrade for their deck, and he had no means to pick them up or get them delivered, so he asked me if I could pick them up for him, which I reluctantly said yes to, because there's about 5 grams worth of glass here. They weren't even covered or wrapped, so it was a bit dodgy coming down the road, but they were fine. Solid, 2 straps, they're all tied together. And yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop it down to the job. It's one of our jobs as well, where we had the bobcat out last week, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, we made a start there. They actually need to get their septic tank replaced, so we're on hold until that happens. But I think they might be starting the septic tank today, so we might be able to get back in there. So I'm going to go and get this out of the yard. I'm going to get down there because I think they might be getting the deck started tomorrow, and just to make sure that the glass is there and there's no hold-ups. So this job you'll remember from the last video if you've watched it. Why haven't you watched it? Go back. Have you watched it yet? Basically stripped the driveway's getting redone, all this turf has been stripped back, built the bank up further. This was all nettles, if you remember, probably out to here. So Jake's roughly kind of spread everything and put it down the bank. We're going to dress all this with a good layer of topsoil. Yeah, and re-turf all this area. But the septic tank where you're standing now needs to be replaced. We're kind of at a bit of a standstill until that happens. So, but we'll probably be getting like 40 ton of soil, 20 to 40 ton of soil, somewhere in between, to come and dress the bank, and then get it re-turfed. And then the driveway again will also be getting done. Quite a low spot down in there, so we need a bit of soil to build it all up and the idea is to try and get this as flat as we can, so it's a nice sort of level area, and maybe make the bank a little bit less steep. I'm not sure what the sort of, rules and regulations of this and the sort of the steepness of it, but you know, you obviously don't want people out here at night drinking, what have you, and then falling down the bank. So I believe this fence is getting ripped out because it's not doing anything. So we'll be taking that fence out, probably be trimming the nettles back to create a bit more of a wider entrance round to the side. And yeah, this will be good when it's all done. But Graham and the guys will be coming in to do the septic tank, hopefully today, starting today. And then when they're done, we can come back in and crack on with the rest of it. But Paul has done a good job so far of the pod, the cabin, whatever you want to call it, the lodge. And yeah, there's been a lot of money and value and time and effort gone into it. So hopefully we can add to the finishing touches. Again, another job that's came from us simply maintaining the grass here. We've been maintaining the grass here for maybe 2-3 years, and now we've got a significant project to come and do. So the importance of having regular clients that you can do work for, and also the projects that come off the back of it. So yesterday I didn't film at all. I was away for the majority of the day. When I came back in the afternoon, I hadn't really heard from the guys most of the day. A couple questions, but nothing really at all that I had to be much involved in, which is good. When I came back, whenever I returned to the yard, everyone was like, "Hi Ben, hi Ben, hi Ben." I'm like, what's happened? The guys put diesel in a petrol lawnmower, and also the bed on one of the projects that we were doing was half the size it should have been. Basically, it should have been 2.4 meters by 2.4 meters, the width of a sleeper, the length of a sleeper, if you like, but they made it 2.4 by 1200. So initially, it's like, why have you done that? The diesel and the petrol lawnmower. It's like, initially I said, right, I'm gonna call him out. I'm not calling him out because of this. It was Joe. Just for context, it was Joe. But Joe being a younger lad, we've got jerry cans, and we needed a jerry can for diesel one time, so I bought this different shade of green. It's a different shade. We all know it's diesel. It has diesel written on it, but the diesel has been sort of rubbed out a little bit, so it's not as easy to see. So he's just obviously picked up this can and thought, petrol. Put it into the lawnmower, started cutting with it, and it's obviously not liked it, cut out. I don't know. I know putting petrol into a diesel engine, as long as it's not fully petrol, isn't as bad as putting diesel into a petrol engine. So I'd imagine that whole thing's going to have to be stripped down and rebuilt or something, I don't know. But accountability on my end was the fact that nobody told them it was diesel in that can. Everyone knew because it was a different shade of green and it had diesel written on it. It should have been more noticeable. It shouldn't have been green, really. It should be a red can for diesel. My half, I should have made it more clear that that was diesel in that can. So it's not the sort of thing that you can get mad about. It's just a lot of bosses would turn around and go, oh, what the hell have you done that for? And not have any accountability and just blame. But I held my hands up straight away. I said, Joe, I mean, I took the piss initially. I was like, what are you doing? But afterwards I said, Joe, listen, mistakes happen. That should have been more clear. So it didn't happen. It's not your fault. These things happen. We live and learn from it. Fair enough. Mole and Aaron were doing the bed, the sleeper bed, and by all means, I'm not calling them out on this. They actually did a really good job of what they did. I drew them a drawing of what it was, kind of showing the angles and stuff like that. It was a square bed next to the fence that they built last week, and there was a bit of a different angle. Log store comes to here. The bed was supposed to come out past the log store. I didn't put any dimensions on it though. It was square, which I thought would be pretty, self-explanatory. But the way we always build those sleeper beds is we cut one sleeper in half, so it's more of a rectangle. So we have a full sleeper in length, half a sleeper in width, and then you've got your bed. So they've automatically thought that's what we're doing. In reality, I should have been more clear with the dimensions on that. It was just a rough drawing of what I was looking for, but it was, it was more than adequate. But I should have went 2.4 meters that way. I didn't. So I didn't have a go at them. I didn't say, why have you done that? Or you don't, like a lot of bosses would and a lot of employers would. I took accountability for what I didn't do and said, you've done a good job there, guys. For what you've done a good job. It was a bit awkward with different angles and stuff like that. 2 corners of it were square and two corners of it weren't. It's not something we do all the time, so it's something new for them. They have to sort of take their time and do it right. And what they've done well. So I guess what I'm trying to get across is the whole point of if you employ staff, you need to be accountable for yourself. Instead of just blame, make excuses, always point the finger away from you. What is it that I have done or haven't done that has either allowed you or not allowed you to do the job that you've been asked to do? And I didn't need to tell you that because nobody would know. But the whole idea of this video is to show the ins and outs of running a business. I came back from a pretty good day yesterday. I was away treating myself to a little summer runner. Came back up the road, all was fine, and then came back to that. And it's like, this is what you have to face running a business. You're constantly firefighting, constantly dealing with issues, dealing with different people and different personalities and different jobs. It's just one of those things. How you handle it is the main thing. If you create a culture and a workforce that is scared to go wrong or scared to make mistakes because the repercussions of making mistakes, not intentionally messing up or intentionally not pulling your weight, it's a completely different thing. You need to allow people to make mistakes so they can learn from it. Everything is a learning lesson. The only way I've learned is to try it, make mistakes, and do it again differently. So next time, oh well, maybe I should have read that drawing, and I know I should have put the dimensions on it. Just simple little things like that. But if you've got a culture at your work where you constantly are negative or you punish your staff for doing simple little mistakes that everyone makes, and you don't allow them to come to you comfortably and say, listen, I hold my hands up, this has happened, I've done this, then it's never going to work. Because if you create that sort of fear within your workplace, people aren't going to tell you things are going to happen and they're not going to be found out. You're going to be either phoned by the customer to say, oh, this is broken or that. You need to be approachable as an employer. You need to be firm but fair and say, hold accountability for yourself, but then also ask them, what is it you could have done differently, or why has this happened, or how could it be avoided next time? Mole's phoning me. But yeah, moral of the story, be accountable for your own actions. So this is what I've bought, a 2009 BMW Z4. I've had one of these before, which was an absolute dud of a car. This is the only way I can explain it. This one is in a bit better condition. It's a hard top, the old one was a soft top. And yeah, I never really got to enjoy the old one because it was that it was not a good buy. Hoping this is a bit of a better buy. It is the facelift of the 2009 year, I believe, and it drove all the way up from Edinburgh, no problem at all. So I bought it with a defect in the bumper. The previous owner brushed into a car, and I knew it was broken when I was going to come buy it, so I'm just taking it up to the body shop to see about getting it fixed. The wheels could do with a refurb, but apart from that, it's a pretty decent going car. And the whole idea was I wanted to see a bit more of Scotland, so I thought I'll do it in a nice car. So it's a better model than the one I had before. 2.5 litre petrol. It's got sports mode. Again, hard top. the soft top one didn't actually work. This one is fully working. Yeah, it's quite a cool wee thing to drive. The idea is this, to try and fill in any of the low spots and try and level it out a wee bit. So got Jim back in today. He's spreading the dust. We've got a big pile of quarry dust here. I want to put a capping layer over the yard. I did it in the yard next door and it made a big difference as opposed to having stones and stuff coming through the surface, because they do, eventually come through. So just putting a thin layer on top of the whole yard, which will tidy it all up. There's different sort of types of material in here, so it would just give it a nice blank canvas, and yeah, just a bit cleaner, a bit tidier. So yeah, and dust, because we're only putting a thin layer on, goes quite far. So Joe's gonna get it really flat, right Joe? See about that. No humps, no bumps, I'm warning you.
Three, two, one, go.
We got spirit, yes we do. How about you?
Aye. How are we getting on? Hello folks, welcome to Friday. It's actually in the afternoon now. I have been occupied this morning. Dav and Ed are just cracking on with this fence that you haven't actually seen yet. There was a good few trees here and an old fence that needed to come down, and the guys went and did that the other day when I was gone, and they've cracked on getting the fence up, putting the posts in yesterday, and came to finish the fence today. So they're doing a grand job of that. I've not had any input at all. It's good to see. It's good to see, and it's good for the guys, and give them the responsibility of doing one and doing a fence themselves, rather than either tagging along with someone or being the second man on the job. It is a joint effort, obviously, but usually someone is there to sort of oversee the project. And yeah, I think it's the first one Ed has done by himself, as in with Dav. So they're both doing a grand job. Joe is out by himself on a tidy up job. I got Joe insured in the vans today. Obviously, due to his age, it is difficult to get them insured. Not impossible, it's just obviously costly. So I had a word with Joe and just said, listen, I want to give you a bit more responsibility. He's keen, he's eager. This is me putting my trust into him, because pretty much, put it this way, if an accident was to, God forbid, happen, or a claim or whatever, I'd have to pay £2,500 of excess just for his insurance. And this is the battle that we have up against insuring young drivers. And I have paid a horrendous amount of money on insurance over the years and insuring vehicles. And it's just one of the things you've had to embrace. You either get insured in the van and go and do the work, or you don't pay for it and you don't have a vehicle to go and do it. I have significantly invested into insurance. Yeah, it's still quite high. Hopefully it'll start to come down as I approach 25, and hopefully next year is maybe a little bit less. But yeah, so Joe is out by himself, cracking on with a tidy up job, and it's good to just give a bit more responsibility to the younger generation and give them, again, a bit more, not purpose, but getting them to make their own decisions rather than being, again, the second person and make their own mistakes and have a bit more responsibility and pride in their job rather than just being told what to do by someone who is more senior than them. So Mole and Aaron, they are at the retail parks today. We visit retail parks on a monthly basis. So we've got one in Aviemore and 3 at Appin and Inverness. So they're cracking on with that. Friday, been a busy sort of ish week. Not on my end. To be honest, I've kind of taken a bit of a back step this week just to try and recoup and go again next week, and also just to give a bit more responsibility again away to the guys. Sometimes you get lull weeks, and then the next week it's just absolutely full on, depending on when jobs are starting and when jobs are stopping and what you've actually got in the diary. Kyle will be back on Monday, and then he'll be away on Thursday again for a week, and Damien is looking like it's going to be sort of end of July, start of August that he's going to be back. He's still having jip with his shoulder, so yes, it's a time of holidays and people being off, and it's just one of those things. Welcome to employing. Anyway, I'm going to go get lunch and a coffee because I'm starving, and I've actually went to the gym this morning, or later this morning. Got the guys set up, and I thought, I'm going to start trying to go to the gym once the guys are on the job, come and do my bit in the morning, get them gone, and then go and spend a bit of time for myself and my own sort of, fitness and mental well-being, because at the end of the day, so many people rely on me and I need to be able to rely on myself. I would rather go now and then have the evening time to either crack on a bit later in the office or do some stuff in the yard. So that is the way I'm going to try and aim it, but we'll see what happens with that. Speak to you in a bit. So it is the end of the day now. We're currently in the yard, and I thought I'd show you what the yard looks like now that we laid that capping of dust yesterday, in which you will have seen, and I rolled it last night as well. So as you can see, it is just that bit tidier, cleaner, smoother. It's right the way up there. The van's nicely parked side by side there, which is something we've never really had the ability to do. I accidentally rolled over the dog stick yesterday. Yeah, you see just how neat and tidy the yard looks now. So we've still got another 10 odd tonne of stuff there that we're going to recap the front yard in as well once we break through. So yeah, but it's certainly looking a lot better, a lot more inviting. It's a fair difference compared to what it used to be. We've now started to work on the back of the shed now to reclad it. Cladding wasn't the greatest, so we're doing that now. Joe's just interrupted me. I'm going to be recladding the shed. It's a decent enough size shed, it just needs a bit of titivating. And here's the crew, like. Where are we all going? Here's me talking about getting Joe insured in the van and putting my trust into him, and then he told me he's put a dent in it. How was your first day in the big van?
Fine, it was good.
Good.
A lot longer.
It is a lot longer than the wee Peugeot, isn't it? I've taken it out. Here.
You want it there or taking it?
As long as it looks presentable for the... It's sold now, it's just a tidy up a bit, so... The retail park's looking good?
Of course. Aye.
What are we looking at?
I don't know what we're looking at. You're the cameraman.
Well, you're looking over there.
I don't want to look at you. That's
Looking
why.
into the horizon.
Cheek of it. Cool.
I've had cheek from this all day.
You've been bullying him.
Yeah. Put him in this place like.
Ah, but who almost broke their hand in the steering wheel?
Aye,
I don't even want to know.
I was driving around the roundabout and this thing came up, I pointed at the dash, I was like, I had a look at this, my hand was wedged in the steering wheel going round the roundabout. I'm trying to get it out.